Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm in the midst of folding clothes, and I just got to listen to the Kareem report, and he was giving us a lowdown on what's going on with the Lakers in regards to how they're looking at their situation currently. I was listening to Ticket TV as well, and he was kind of giving us pretty much similar points of view. And the way the Lakers are looking at things right now, according to those guys, is there's no trade out there that can make us as good as we want to be, and so because of it, what we're probably going to do is nothing. And at the end of the season, reconvene and try to figure out if we can, since we have no real bad contracts on our books at this moment at all, we can just reset our timeline, make trades, and do what it is that I've been suggesting us do, which is reset our timeline. And that doesn't keep you in the dumps. I think the notion is that keeps you in the dumps, but I provided us the example of the Portland Trailblazers to where they reset their situation because they had a bunch of free agents. And then immediately, in that same flurry, re-signed all of those people so that they never lost their team. And you don't know that they actually reset everything. So this is one of those situations where it's like the Lakers are in a bit more of a difficult situation because we don't have our picks. We don't have everybody as free agents, so we can't just re-sign everybody right now like we would like to. If that were the case, we would be able to be in a much better position to begin with. But one thing the Lakers can do, and Kareem mentioned something like this, is try to make certain trades that can bring you small pieces. Same thing that Trevor Lane was saying. Doing nothing could be very harmful because ultimately we're allowing value to leave the books. He was saying basically, you could be down $50 million more or less after the math, in lost value. And that's exactly what we've been talking about. Let's not let value leave our organization anymore, because no matter what that value is represented in, you can trade it for what it is that your vision is. So even if you have something that's out of place, or a player you can't possibly use to the best of your ability, if you know what you're doing in negotiations, you can possibly get something that you do need, and then some, depending on how you do it. So, the word imagination is what comes to mind, because it's like, yes, could what the Lakers are looking at be something that has them saying there's nothing that can be done? Sure, that's what it appears to be. But then you'll have a GM who can turn that situation into something. And though that'd be an extraordinary thing, and maybe not possible, as a Laker fan, you often look at situations from afar and say, well, would this be possible instead? Would this be possible? And I'm the type of person who's doing that in regards to young players that don't have roles on other teams. It's like the Lakers don't think that they can make a trade that can get them over the hump. They don't think. That doesn't necessarily mean there ain't one out there. It just means that they don't have the imagination to put it together. I don't want to disrespect people, but that's what the history tells us. I mean, Rob Pelinka hasn't won any of these trades. You know what I'm saying? The trades haven't been good. So, like, what you want me to say? I've watched Danny Ainge turn Rudy Gobert into six picks. Like, what can't you do again? Tell me what you can't do, and I'll show you somebody who can. More or less is what I'm telling Rob Pelinka. So, with respect to what it is he's looking at, which I'm obviously not looking at, I kind of just want to leave more room for an imagination, because I can fathom ways of making that happen myself. As I've given you guys many different scenarios that I think are actually really possible when you consider how easy it is to acquire second round picks, and then how easy it is to pair those second round picks into good things. That's what I believe. I believe, I was listening to what Kareem was saying in regards to Lonnie Walker, and it's like, if we're not going to re-sign Lonnie, it probably makes sense to trade him now. Because if he's ultimately going to be somebody who walks out the door like Malik Monk did, and like Julius Randle did, and like Alex Caruso did, then obviously this is just going to reinforce more of the same problem. So while as we were talking about in the previous video, talking about the game tonight, we don't want to give away players when they're playing well, because that's naturally what people don't want to do. But when you're in the position we're in, it's probably the best strategy to try to wait until players reach their highest peak, and then try to reach a deal for them to get the most for them, since you don't have anything at all. Regardless if the pieces are something you like or not, you need to make sure you have something. And then when you have something, you'll find other pieces that you love as to which you'll be able to keep without this being the problem. So the things that you love right now, you can't keep without the risk of everything going left anyway. So it shouldn't be nothing that you're not willing to part ways with based on that fact. So it's one of those situations where it's like, as a Laker fan, it's like I accept that what they're seeing, they don't think they can do more with, but I also can fathom a world where another GM comes in and gets all that stuff done that they don't see nothing at all to do. And it's just like that for me. I just don't like believing that there's nothing we can do. when I see things that can be done. For example, there are players in the G League. There's a guy that I've been telling us about all damn year. And I don't know where he is. He might be overseas somewhere. He might be still on our G League team. I'm not sure, and I probably should look. But 40 Jones. He wears number 40. I call him 40 Jones. His name is Mason Jones. This dude impressed me a lot in the final games of the season last year. Impressed me to the point where I wanted him on the floor. Just like I wanted Wenyen Gabriel on the floor. I was looking forward to him carrying over into this season. I wanted to see what he was going to do on our team. And our team didn't bring him back. And we need what he does. I can't forget that. You know what I mean? That's not something that my brain as a Laker fan will allow me to forget. When I watch this dude for the final 2 games of the season do all the things that I want my player to be able to do at a big size body. He could put the ball on the floor for himself. He could rebound the ball himself. He can guard bigger defenders. He's like 6'8", and he plays like a guard. Now, if he has some insubordination issues or some other off-the-court stuff that I'm not aware of, okay, leave it alone. But if it ain't none of that going on, and people are just misevaluating talent or just doing things the wrong way because he ain't signed a clutch, they need to go back and look at the final 2 games of the season and remind themselves of who that was, bring him back to our organization and turn him into what it is I know he can turn into in our uniform. And then we could trade him for some of the stuff that we think we don't have nothing for. This is what can be done that the Lakers aren't doing. So when they sit up and say there's nothing that can be done, that's a reflection of who they are, not of what it is that's possible in the situation. And that is the point. That's the point. That's what I want to get on here and say. Jeanie, I'm not taking no for an answer when somebody tells me they have this, and this, and can't do nothing with it. You can't do nothing with it because you don't know exactly what you need to know. Whatever that is, you don't have it in your head what that person over there has in their head. We need to bring them to us so they can give us what it is they have. That's what Jeanie needs to do for the Los Angeles Lakers fan base. Okay? Because we've had a lot of excuses, and those excuses are based on the parameters of the people we have in place. We can expand those parameters by removing those excuse makers and bringing in people who have the ability to reach. And they're out there. Masai Ujiri, Danny Ainge. These people are in places that are not as good as the Lakers. You give them enough money, they will be here tomorrow. Simply put. And as bad as the teams we're doing right now, that is a very good investment. Taking a good portion of what it is that you invest in this team and finding the best team builder that can put your team together for the next 4 or 5 years is your best investment for this franchise. It's not Clutch. It's not the players that Clutch brings you. It's not keeping the people you have. None of that. No, what you need is somebody who can do more than the people you have in place. That is it. That's literally it. That's the missing piece to what Jeanie doesn't have right there. And so, as a fan, I'm just like, man, this is just one more reason to just clean house. Not just clear the books, but fire people who are in place that are in control of those books. So that we can have that imagination that's lacking. So that we can find the second round picks out of Lonnie Walker, who we're not going to re-sign likely. You know what I'm saying? And find me a way. Find me a way to keep Austin Reeves. So that I don't have to include him into this conversation. Because you know he's a part of this conversation. For the exact same reason with Lonnie Walker. Me personally, I'm ready to have their money at the end of the season. Both of them. And I've seen the inconsistencies. I also know how old they are. And I know that they can be a part of a rebuilding situation. So there's no reason for me to let go of those 2 players. And there's about 3 or 4 more others on this team that are the same exact way. I don't think the Lakers are as far away from being successful as they think they are based on the upside of some of the role players that we have who can be role players on our next situation. Austin Reeves is my shooting guard and my point guard, backup point guard and starting shooting guard for my next team. So I don't really necessarily need to look for that position as the primary piece from which to build around because I already got a solid, strong upside role player starter in that position. So what am I not looking for? Him. I don't need him. I need to find something else. See what I'm saying? So it's like if you're building properly, then you know what you already have can be used properly. And now you just need to find the pieces that complement that or find a new vision and go forward with that vision. You know what I mean? But for me, this whole thing about us running around on a bad team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis rostered and them not seeing no other path towards being better, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And I understand that the market is locked based on probably everybody's waiting for us to pull the trigger on a move. And there's a way to strategize through that. As in making a small move, a preliminary move that kicks the ball rolling and then watching everybody else think that was the big move and then proceed to make the real move that you're going to make after that. Because that's what I think is happening. I think the entire market is waiting for us to move. Because they know we're the team that needs to move. Why are we the team that needs to move? Because we have the Lakers organization and LeBron James attached to us, and nobody else has that type of pressure. The entire league doesn't have that type of pressure. So if the league is looking at it the way I'm looking at it, I'm not going to force myself to make any moves at all before the Lakers do. Why? Because nobody needs to make a move more than the Lakers do. No one needs to make a move more than us. And everybody's aware of that. So for those of us who are wondering why no moves have been made, it's because people are waiting for Rob to make moves. That's what it is. That's what I think it is anyway. That's what it looked like to me. They're waiting for us. So it's like, if Rob decides he doesn't want to do anything, you may see a situation where nobody does anything, honestly. It's possible. Forgive me, I'm trying to continue to fold these clothes and get this done, but keep this content going. But it's like, as a fan, I just look at this and say, okay, if you think this team is not worth investing in, but you also believe, as Kareem said, that you're ready to reset your books, then there are moves you can make that can help prepare for that. Sitting still, you don't have to sit still even when that's your plan. You know what I'm saying? Because you can do something that can help make that situation much easier. And that comes with understanding who you're going to re-sign from this group. And if not, then trading them, like we're saying, Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, Russell Westbrook, all the guys on expiring contracts. Anybody on an expiring contract that the Lakers aren't re-signing needs to be traded. That's it. That's all there is to it. You trade them for pick equity. That's it. You trade them for pick equity, or you trade them for a young piece, R.J. Hampton in the back of somebody's bench that you can develop into a nice role player, or you can trade later for a second-round pick, or trade them for the second-round pick. But that's what the Lakers need to be doing. That's exactly what the Lakers need to be doing. Trading anybody that they don't believe they're going to re-sign for something tangible. I don't care if it's one single second-round pick. Just get something back for something that's leaving, that gives us nothing when it leaves. And don't let it be salary, because obviously we're trying to stay out of salary. So make it a second-round pick or two. If it's Lonnie Walker, take a second-round pick or two. Don't worry about it, because if you're not going to keep him, then you're letting him walk for nothing. And that cap space that he's going to be leaving behind comes your way any damn way. So you might as well turn that into a second-round pick regardless. That's why I don't mind doing something like that, because it's like, is that the value of Lonnie Walker? Not to me. I think he's worth more than that. But if he's going to be walking away for nothing, and the only thing he's going to be doing is playing the rest of this season out on a bad team, as to which it means nothing, and all he's going to do is play himself up to get a contract and leave, the hell, why didn't I turn him into a second-round pick? Why didn't I turn all of them people that walked away for nothing into a second-round pick? I could have turned Julius Randle into a second-round pick. Like, that was just a very nice gesture that had very little business mind behind it. It's like, you really let the New Orleans Hornets have a player, New Orleans Pelicans have a player that valuable? It didn't even get back a second-rounder? You just let him walk over there? No sign and trade, no compensation asked for, nothing. Just as a handshake deal that because we gave you Julius Randle, please give us Anthony Davis next year. As to which them dumbasses didn't even give us Anthony Davis next year. We had to wait that entire season because they didn't want to make the trade. As to which we ended up doing that dumb Zubats thing. So you let them have Julius Randle. And they didn't even hold up there and did a bargain. See, this is the type of stuff I'm like, man, and you want me to keep the people in place that did that? Come on, man. As a Laker fan of 30 years, you think I'm rolling? I'm not rolling. You gotta let that go, man. People who put that in place, whoever they are, whether it be Bron and his team, Genie, everybody that did that, gotta go, man. Like, that's where we at. This Westbrook thing, terrible decision. We know that was a bad decision. We're happy he's here now. We're happy he's playing well. But we let go of real value. Real value. Kyle Kuzma's like an all-star level player. You know what I'm saying? KCP has won a championship on our uniform. That's worth something in and of itself. Both of them have. Gave away Trez, who would run a 6th man of the year. You gave away a first-round pick, and on top of that, what the hell kind of fleecing did you let happen there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of fleecing did you let happen? And Genie's just like, well, let's give him an extension. What? What? Like, what? No. Let's find somebody with an imagination is what we should have been saying. What I should have been saying. That's what everybody should be saying. Let's find us people who ain't gonna give us. I can't do nothing. No, you cannot, but someone else definitely can. And I don't think that that's just as simple as him being not capable. No, that's a leverage conversation. They ain't gonna try that with nobody else because that other person gonna have more leverage. Like, that's another part of it. And see, that's a part that Genie needs to understand as well. It's like your GM has to have a certain level of cachet and leverage in his back pocket, or he can't get nothing done. If everybody thinks he's a moron, they're gonna fleece him for everything. Here we are. Here we are. So you need to remove your GM just because he's no longer capable of getting the deal that he needs to make. You know, that's what it is. They ain't gonna talk to him. They ain't talking to your guy, man. That's what it is, Genie. They're not talking to your guy. You know, it's not that the market is locked up for the Lakers. It's the market's locked up for Rob. I'm just being honest. I'm being absolutely honest with you guys. So, that's what needs to happen. We need to fire him, bro. Sis, whomever's watching me, Rob Pelinka needs to be the guy that moves first. Then you start talking about bringing in somebody who can effectively trade all of those things that you need traded for the absolute best opportunity to receive your best compensation. That's it. If you're not doing it that way, you're doing it wrong, and you're gonna probably lose because of it. So we can keep kicking the can down the road with Rob Pelinka. You know what I mean? I think Genie may want to give him an opportunity without Clutch to do his thing. I don't care to do that. Why? Because in my mind, and this is key, if he's been here for 5 years and hasn't had an opportunity to do his thing, then that means we're going to be giving him a job he's a rookie at. That's exactly what that means. That means he's been in 5 years in a job that he has done nothing at all. That's what that tells me. That is, he's had no room to really do anything. So that means I don't know that he can. So what I need to do as a team that's been failing for a lot of years is bring someone who I know can. That's where it becomes a thing for me. That's what it's really about. I'm not mad at Rob Pelinka if it turns out that the Lakers, in fact, let Clutch and Braun cause all of this, and that Rob was just kind of sitting there watching the whole thing and then speaking on the behalf of someone who was in a position to do something about it. If that turns out to be the case, I don't blame Rob at all. And I'm not against him getting an opportunity to GM a team. I just look at this as not the situation for a GM that has not proven that he can do it. And in that scenario, by sheer default, he would not have been able to prove that. So that's where it becomes for me. It's like, oh, you give Rob a chance. We can't have a rookie GM right now. we can't. We, with what we have, would be wise to have someone who's been there and done that many times over. That's what it comes down to, man. I need experts in place. We're in a very fragile and sensitive situation. We need people who know what they're doing, and we need people who know how to get more for less. We need Danny Ainge. I'm telling you the truth, that's what we need. We ain't never going to get him because he ain't going to roll with us on no level, being the fact that he's a Celtic. But that is exactly the person I want doing the Braun trade and getting me back all the equity necessary to give me a future. I know he can do it. I know he can do it. And it's one of those type of things. It's like, you can take what I have and turn it into something, because you gonna make sure that whoever's on the other side of the table with you ain't gonna see us as idiots. They're not gonna see us as people who ain't gonna do the right thing. You know what I mean? And that is what this situation and this environment has created. It's a space where people who are on the other side of the negotiation table can just simply say, nah, nah. Your bluffs, everything you got going on, we don't believe you because you're stupid and we've seen you be stupid. So that's it, man. That's exactly it. If you want things to be able to move, it doesn't come with having the same people in place moving from within their position and their imagination. No, it doesn't work. Now you need to get the people out who can't deliver and bring the people in who will be able to. That's standard, man. I'm telling you, this is not that difficult of a thing. That's why I'm thinking Genie is extremely distracted, right now, because a lot of this stuff is just like simple. It ain't that hard. It ain't that difficult. The results have made the decisions for you. You know what I mean? You don't have to be the bad guy. Decisions are being made based on the results of what you see. You say, look, I love what you've done, but my team is sucking because of what you've done. And so my love for what you've done isn't going to get it done. I need the results to be good. I need them to be tangible and on paper as something that was successful. And unfortunately with the Lakers and the way that we've been moving, that's just not the case. It's not the case. So now what we can do is trade down, which is not something that you would want to do in normal situations when you're like this. But again, the point is to try to make sure that you clear your books as best as possible and get yourself things that'll help you with your rebuild as easy as possible. There are going to be a lot of little moves that you would have wished you would have made to make things even more so easy come this summertime when you look to trade Braun, trade AD, or whatever the heck the Lakers are going to do. They will have wished to say, yo, if we had a couple extra second rounders, we could do a little more. If we had an extra first rounder, we could do a lot more. And when you consider all the expiring contracts that we have, you pair them all together, the ones we like and the ones we don't like, you can get you a first round pick. Now, that's not the best value for what it is that you have. But again, there's going to be something said for all of the cap space that's going to be leaving without even doing anything, which is what the Lakers are signing up for. So my thing is, as I speak in circles, I would have loved to have gotten a second round pick for Julius Randle when he left for nothing. I would have loved to get a second round pick or some cash consideration. Give me $100,000 for Caruso, fam. Anything's better than nothing. $50,000? You feel me? And these are the type of things the Lakers need to brokerage without feeling ashamed to do so. I need a GM that's gonna say, "Yo, nah, that fool's not leaving for nothing. Give me $50,000. Like some cash considerations, fam. Anything that can represent the equity for a team that doesn't have any equity, for a team that has made the same decision in regards to their assets over and over and over again, and now it's like they don't have nothing. So it's like, look, we got a penny pinch, nickel and dime, fleece, and everything else to put ourselves in a position of balance because we have allowed everyone to do that to us for the last several years with this LeBron James 80s debacle, clutch debacle. You know what I'm saying? So if Jeannie wants her franchise to succeed, the only path forward is to stop trusting the people she's been trusting. That's it. They are showing us what they can do for us. And honestly, this is all it is. So that is it. That's going to be a message every day until Jeannie fires people, man. That's it. That is all. I don't care about nothing else. I don't want to see a single move being made as in regards to trading big players like AD and Bron. Because I know Rob ain't going to be able to get it done the right way. It ain't even about if. He's telling us. He's showing us. It can't be done. I'm not moving. I can't do nothing. Yeah, you cannot. But Danny can. Masai can. I'm sure of that. You know, Dave Myers can. Feel me? And that's where Jeannie's money needs to be. You know, Rob is a great agent, so I'm pretty sure he's going to land on his feet. I hear he's more wealthy than the average GM because of his agent game. So all of this is a passion project for him anyway. So he can go off and start his own, a different type of business if he wants to. He can do a whole lot of things if he wants, parlaying off of this Laker GM job. He is not done in the business. But as far as him being a GM for the Lakers, I think he would have fired himself by now. I think he would have fired himself if he was the owner. You know, certain things are just result-based, man. It ain't nothing else but results, bro. That's it. That's all it is. He could be the nicest guy in the world with the greatest spirit. And if we're failing, we're going to happily ask him to walk away. We're going to send him out with a parade and love and tears in our heart. But he's still got to go. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. If you ain't helping us win, you got to bounce. This loser Lakers stuff, for the sake of being nice to people, is empty. It's very empty, friends. So that's what I got to say to Jeannie about that, man. I appreciate her heart for everybody, and it's just there's another way to help people succeed. There's another way to show people you care, and it's by doing things correctly and not allowing them to sit in uncomfortable situations for too long. It's true. So that's what I want to say, man. That's exactly what I want to say. Like I said, you guys can go check out my Laker video. Of course, we're going to be playing the Charlotte Hornets tonight. I've already broken down my thoughts on that. Did a lot of homework on the team. Watch out for their bigs. Watch out for their guards, as usual. And that kind of thing, man. As I said, trading down, that was something I wanted to kind of stay on. We can do that. Like, that can be done. You can take Lonnie Walker and turn him into two lesser guys than that, as to which you can take one of them dudes at the end of the season and trade him for a second round pick. I mean, it's, whatever the value would be. The point is, standing still and doing nothing isn't the best way to assure you have the best path at the end of the season when it's time to do the big stuff. So I think the Lakers should do small preliminary moves, even if it ain't nothing but acquiring second round picks and cash considerations and getting guys off the books that you know damn well that probably are not going to re-sign with you or definitely not re-signing with you. You get them out of here, even if it makes us a little worse. Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing anything, that means you know you suck. So if you know you suck, then you got to act like suck teams do and do things that help for next season. Do things that help you get the asset class you need. Or, of course, if you have your picks, tank, for which we don't. So that's it. Standing still is not good for anybody, including us who have this circumstance. Now, you go the other direction to make sure you get worse for a purpose. That's what you do. You don't stay in no man's land. That's exactly what this is. It's a team that's good enough to make the play-in tournament, but not good enough to get out of the first round. So for me, it's like, well, if if we don't have young players on that roster that we're developing, then we're asking the old players to just be here for no reason. You're asking guys like Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder just run around for nothing. LeBron, they run around for nothing. So either you're going to reset the timeline even further. Obviously, certain things can't be done. Moving Bron and AD, neither one of those things are going to be done right now. Maybe not moving Westbrook either if it's going to still cost us 2 picks. Don't have to be done. But you definitely got to move Kendrick Nunn. You definitely got to move Patrick Beverley. You definitely have to get rid of guys that are going to walk for nothing. So that's what it is, man. That's the thought. So that's what I got to say, man. Hopefully the Lakers can grow an imagination. I'm tired of this. I don't want to do nothing because we can't move crap. When cash considerations and bad players can be traded for one another. That's pretty much what I got to say. Video 44. I thank you all for watching. Out.